going on, everybody? Welcome back to MLB Swing for the Fences DFS show here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. It's Sunday morning, August 31st, a week before football starts. Our final MLB show here, or Sunday morning MLB show. MLB shows will keep going, but Sunday morning MLB shows will be concluding at the end of this show. Dan filling in for Schlong today. You know, I thought Bryce might make a final appearance here on the last Sunday morning baseball show of the year, but no, we got Dan filling in again. Dan, how you doing on this Sunday morning?
I'm doing good. I think Bryce is at the U.S. Open. He's been having a hell of an August, just going all over the place. He's going to UFC. He's going to races. He's going to the U.S. Open. But we're here with you talking baseball.
Yeah, I can't believe that he wanted to miss this Sunday morning baseball show to go to the U.S. Open. What a foolish, what a shame from Third and Schlong. But we're here. We're talking all 9 games. We'll break it down. And I do think it's a pretty fun Sunday slate. I know everybody itching to get to the NFL streets, but baseball is what we got for now. So let's dig into it. We do start off in Minnesota for the Padres and the Twins. Going to be something of a bullpen game, it looks like, for the Padres. We're going to start David Morgan. Might be Kyle Hart in long relief. I don't think those guys are in play. And then Twins will go with Joe Ryan, sitting there at 9,400. 2 bad starts in a row for Ryan. He has had a couple of tough matchups, but hasn't pitched particularly well as of late. It's another tough matchup today. Faced Toronto last time out. I kind of think of the Padres as the National League version of the Blue Jays. Just a ton of contact. Not a team that I really like playing pitchers against, and that'll mostly prove true today. I think if people playing a ton of lineups, I'd probably keep Ryan in the mix, but for those playing 1, 3, 5, 10 lineups, he didn't make the cut for me. Not doing a ton, I don't think, with bats here, though. Dan, where'd you end up with Padres and Twins?
Yeah, I've got about 10% Joe Ryan. Like you said, he's not looked very good lately. Not a particularly good value. His K-prop is fine, but you've got up in this range, if you can get up to Hunter Brown and Skubal, I think that's definitely the way to go. And then if you want to go lower than that, there's plenty of, you've got Giolito, Scherzer, even Tanner Beebe, they're all propped about the same, heel even. So, and then even lower than that. So yeah, I'm not getting too much Joe Ryan. And then as for bats, let me see what I got here. I think my highest exposed batter from this game is Tatis. I believe that's probably mostly in one-offs because as far as stacks go, these guys are pretty low down the list for me. They're coming in around, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Wait, that's not right. They're like my 6, 7 stack, so not a priority on bats, not a priority on arms. Really, I'll play them whenever they make it into lineups, but I'm not going out of my way.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think some of these Twins cheap guys are okay too. They're going to have decent matchups. So I'm with you. Just not crazy about the game. Promo code, you can use RPS15, Calvin, to get over to Run Pure Sports. Football season coming up. Great time to sign up. We got a number of different packages to look at over Run Pure Sports. So yeah, RPS15 should work. Let's get to the next game. I think an interesting one here. Tampa Bay and the Washington Nationals. This one in Washington, D.C. We've got Brad Lord going for the Nationals. Certainly a pitcher we've been picking on a decent amount. Lefty bats is mostly what you want with him. I think both Brandon Lowe and Josh Lowe look pretty good to me. And then the Rays will go with rookie lefty Ian Seymour, who I don't think last time I checked, Sabre didn't even have a projection for him for some reason, but it is going to be Seymour starting, I believe. And he looks good to me, Dan. He made his first start at the big league level last time out, was dominant against Cleveland, 8 strikeouts over 5 innings, had pitched pretty well out of the bullpen for Tampa prior to that. And before that was kind of a full-time starter in the minor leagues, regularly going 90-plus pitches. So 67 last time out. I mean, I think you're hoping for 80 pitches here, kind of hoping for 5 innings, maybe 6, but he's cheap, and it's the matchup here. The Nationals against left-handed pitchers, just enormous strikeout rates, basically the entire lineup. So I kind of like Seymour here as a cheaper option, 6,800. I'm Not sure what his ownership is going to be because Saber doesn't seem to think he's pitching. But I'm in on Seymour train here, out on Lord and looking at those Rays bats at least a little bit. What are you doing with Nationals and Rays?
So yeah, I think there was an update because I've got Saber has Seymour for 14.8.
Okay.
I've got him a couple points. I've got him like a point and a half higher than that. It says he's going to be about 20% owned, which seems a little low considering how cheap he is. But I think, yeah, he is going to be the highest owned, like kind of 7K or below pitcher, but 20%. I'd probably be happy getting over that. My opponent picked up Ian Seymour in our fantasy playoffs, and now he's getting 2 starts out of him. So I've gotten he just absolutely nuked me with that pickup. So
you got a sharp opponent if they're picking up Ian Seymour.
Well, so our league is like very stupid. There's a ton of pitcher spots, and the pitcher scoring outweighs the batter scoring. So it's really just a game of like picking up and stockpiling pitchers. And this
streaming pitcher,
yeah, and this dude's up at 3 a.m. every morning, just like picking people up and talking to people, and I'm just not doing that. So yeah, I expect Ian Seymour to completely embarrass me today. I'm getting like 30% of him. So I'm happy to come in over the field on, what looks like just moderate ownership there. I don't really have much interest in any of the bats here. I've got Tampa. Obviously, the guys from Tampa you mentioned are viable, but I'm pretty low on them. Like I'm projecting them much lower than Saber is right now. So I'm going to mostly be avoiding bats from this game. Going to be going in on Seymour, and I've got like 10% Lord.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I was kind of hoping Seymour is going to be lower rounds. Like sometimes these cheap pitchers that I like, nobody's on them, but it does look like the field's going to be on Seymour to some degree, which makes sense. Just the matchup is just so good for Seymour, who I do think is a pretty solid arm overall. So I'll stay in. I was hoping to get lower ownership, but 20%, I still think he's a good play at that number. Let's move to Boston and the Pittsburgh Pirates. This one in Fenway. Should be moderate weather here. Really kind of moderate weather almost everywhere today in the 70s. So we've got Mitch Keller going for the Pirates. I don't play a ton of Keller. He is coming off a strong start against the Cardinals. I do like playing lefties against him, though. So I'm kind of looking at Boston, Roman Anthony, Duran, Lowe, Yoshida, I think are all pretty strong plays against Keller. Can run on him a little bit too. So, guys, some of the guys have speed as well. And then Giolito going for Boston, coming off a very, very strong start against the Orioles last time out. He's pitched pretty well this year. Honestly, I haven't played a lot of Giolito. And I probably won't play him today either at 9K, but the matchup's certainly good against the Pirates. I'm guessing you've got some interest in Giolito. Dan, go ahead with Red Sox and Pirates here.
Yeah, I've got about 10%, but for 9K flat, his strikeout prop is actually pretty strong because his is like it's slightly juiced to the over, ever so slightly. Everybody else is juiced to the under on like 5.5 Ks in this range. So that's like from Ryan to about heel. So Giolito's a strong option. I'm only getting to 10% of him, but I suspect that's because I'm getting a ton more Seymour and who else? If I just filter to all. Yeah, I'm getting a ton of this Skubal Seymour combo, a lot of Brown Seymour combo. So not getting as much Giolito, but he's definitely viable here. What I will say, though, this does appear to be one of the better hitting environments on the slate. The wind is blowing in, and it's looking pretty negative for home runs. We're actually going to get fewer home runs today, but we're going to get a lot more extra base hits, and it looks like runs in general are looking to be trending up here as well. So as usual, like if you've been watching the last 3 weeks, I love Pittsburgh value bats. I feel like they've come through pretty well for us in terms of that. But you got Triolo leading off, Pham. I have a lot of interest in those two. Nick Gonzalez. And then the Red Sox bets, I'm not getting quite as many of them, probably due to price, but I do like Story a lot. Roman Anthony, who you already mentioned, Yoshida, Bregman. Oh, and Duran, of course. So usual suspects there.
Yep, usual suspects for Boston. I do think the Pirates bats make some sense, especially pretty good leverage, right? Some people are going to play Giolito. You get really low ownership on these guys, and they're cheap. So, yeah, hadn't really considered the Pirates too closely, but I do think they make sense, giving them a second look here. And yeah, Giolito, I do think he's a fine play at 10% owned at 9K. I don't know about you, but I have like Hunter Brown and Skubal as, I think they're way better plays than the other 9K pitchers like Giolito, Joe Ryan. I just want to get more of those top guys. And then I'm with you. I do like the value options too. So kind of a slate where I'm mostly either spending up or spending down that pitcher, kind of avoiding Giolito and the other mid-range plays. Let's go to Toronto. Two good pitchers going here. Max Scherzer pitching for the Blue Jays. He's been better than I expected him to be here late in his career. But, yeah, I think you can still target him with left-handed bats. I mentioned that often. That would be Yelich, Turang, Frelick, I think are all pretty good plays here. I assume they'll be low-owned. Yeah, Yelich around 5%. Makes sense to me. And then Woodruff, who has pitched well for Milwaukee, did have a couple, minor setback starts, but looked pretty good last time out against the Diamondbacks. Don't love him here, though. I mean, he's another one of those guys, Dan, where I just have a hard time paying $9,700 for Woodruff with some of the other options on the slate. I don't love Scherzer either, honestly. I don't love going up against Milwaukee in general, and I still kind of have my doubts about how good Scherzer is right now. To me, 12% feels high at $8,600 for Max Scherzer. And yeah, mostly the Milwaukee lefties that I'm looking at for hitting in this game. What about you, Dan? What are you doing with Milwaukee and Toronto?
Yeah, as far as pitching goes, I'm getting Scherzer around 9%, Woodruff about 6%. It's what you said. Like these other the higher priced options up in the top range of salary for pitching are just so much better. But I mean, you're getting a pretty heavy ownership discount on Woodruff, so I don't really mind mixing him in. Scherzer, not a huge fan of the matchup, but like I said, 9%, you can mix him in. His K prop is comparable with everybody around him. There's like not really anybody who stands out in this sort of mid 9K, 8K range. So you can really just mix and match wherever those guys fit, in my opinion. And then as far as the bats go, yeah, like you said, for Milwaukee, I'm mostly getting like Turang, Contreras, Yelich, Churio, Vaughn, and not getting to too much Toronto, though I am getting Springer as a one-off a good amount.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not playing Woodruff, but probably not going to play many Blue Jays. And then I do like Milwaukee quite a bit as a looks like pretty contrarian stack. Not too many people are going to go to them against Scherzer. I will go to those lefties, especially for sure. Let's go to Progressive Field in Cleveland. It's the Mariners and the Guardians. DraftKings finally just said fuck it with Bryce Miller's salary and just dumped him all the way down to $5,500. It's funny if you look at he was like a $8,500 pitcher, moved him to 72, 7K, and they're just like, nah. Someone manually just got in there with Bryce Miller and said he's going down to the basement at $5,500. He's been terrible, Dan, but
yeah,
that price point in this matchup, I do think he's now back in play. Almost like, unfortunately, I don't really want to play him, but I kind of feel like I have to have some interest at that price. Tanner Bybee going for Cleveland. He's been okay this year. Decent strikeout arm, decent talent, but oftentimes the results aren't there. I don't love him against this Mariners team at $8,300. This park, though, will play pitcher friendly. Another point in Bryce Miller's case if people are looking at him. What about you, Dan? You buying in on this Bryce Miller price drop today?
Not really, man. I'm getting like each of these pitchers. I know it's some of the worst hitting weather on the slate, probably one of the better pitching environments, but I'm only getting to like 6% of either of these guys just because I am going so much heavier on – I'm going really heavy on Ian Seymour today. But, really bad hitting environment, 5,500. Bryce Miller probably doesn't have to do too much, although, I mean, there are expensive bats here that are going to be pretty low on. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to jam like Yankees and Mets together, then I guess Miller could be your guy. But I don't really think you have to go there too much. And then I'm getting a surprising amount of the Seattle bats. I mean, it's not that surprising. Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Rosarena. You can definitely play them regardless of environment. And then on the Cleveland side, I've got Kwan, Ramirez, Schneemann, Manzardo. Like you said, Miller's been terrible. So I don't mind.
looking at Miller's metrics a little bit.
Someone's asking how many pitches.
He's pitching much better than his results would indicate. I'll say that for Bryce Miller. So, oh man, Dan, I got to be in it. I was hoping he would be maybe chalky and then I could avoid it, but I got to play some Miller at 5%. To me, that's just
55%. Like, why not? Why not throw some in there?
Yeah, it's a good matchup, good park. Pitching better than I think people real. I mean, he's been terrible results wise, but he actually looks okay to me. The metrics, swinging strike rate stuff, plus all that stuff looks okay for Miller. So I am going to be in there. What'd you say you were doing with the bats? Are you going to Seattle at all?
Yeah, I'm going to Seattle. I'm going to Julio, Raleigh, Rosarena, usual guys, Polanco, Naylor. But I'm getting a good amount of Seattle. I think. Let me see how many 5-mans I'm getting of them. Actually, not that many 5-mans. So I'm getting. Oh, wait a minute. This is not organized correctly. Yeah, they're actually going to be like my 4th, 5th highest on stack 5-man, and I'm getting a good amount of minis as well. But that's probably to do with. It's definitely to do with the matchup. Yeah, BB, his xFIP. It's like a 5.14 xFIP. The velo's down. Despite the hitting environment, I wouldn't be surprised to see Seattle tee off on him at all. They actually have, per my numbers, like the 2nd highest home run upside of any team on the slate. It's like Yankees, Seattle, then the Mets.
Yeah, I like it. And for people buying into the Miller train with me, I do like pairing them with Seattle too. Makes some sense. Obviously, you get those lopsided games in baseball, good for both the pitching and the hitting side. So some extra correlation there. I'll be getting in on that on the Seattle side of this game for sure.
Just real quick, Darnell was asking how many pitches is Seymour good for. I don't have a pitch count for him, but I think he's probably good through. Let's see where I got him projected for. I got him for like 15 outs. So,
I think you're open for 5 innings, 5 strong innings out of Seymour. Maybe 6 innings, and I think the pitch count. I've got him right at 80 pitches today. I think he'll be somewhere around there. Yeah, 75, 80 pitches for Seymour makes sense to me. And yeah, going back to the Seattle, just quick. Catcher today looks horrible. I don't know if most of the good guys don't have good matchups. So it makes, to me, Cal Raleigh really stand out as a strong play at what I think is clearly the weakest hitting position. Let's go to the Mets and the Marlins. This one in New York. Mets offense been on fire. They get Sandy Alcantara today, who I was talking about him, even into like June, of not giving up on him because the stuff still looks good. And he's finally put it together. He's actually had a pretty good run of outings, 3 good ones in a row for Alcantara. But he does run into this Mets buzzsaw of an offense, of course. I don't know what to do with this one. To me, I mean, Sandy at 6,200 is again, it's just way too cheap of a price for what is, I think, still a pretty decent pitcher. But I don't love targeting the Mets. I'm kind of leaning away from Alcantara, but I don't think he's a crazy play at that price. And then Kodai Senga going for the Mets. He's been terrible, really wild, not going deep into games. I wish this Marlins offense was a little bit more appealing because I do kind of like stacking against Senga the way he's going right now, but it's kind of hard to get excited about most of these Marlins anyway. Dan, what are you doing with Mets and Marlins here?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised because this is by far, per ballpark pal, it's the worst hitting environment on the slate, but I'm getting a ton of Mets. I've got them projected for, like I said before, 2nd highest home run upside of any team. I'm getting next to no Alcantara, and I'm getting some Senga. I'm getting like 15% Senga. So that makes sense to me because, really good pitching environment. Senga is like the quintessential boomer bust guy, right? He's either like striking out 8 or he's walking 8.
Mostly bust recently for Senga.
Yeah. So let's see he's going to be like 21% owned. I'm going to come in slightly under that. Senga is the type of guy where if he's going to be one of the lower owned guys, I love to slam, but if he's going to be higher owned, you just stay away because he can just go one direction or the other. But I'm getting a ton of Mets bats. The hitting environment aside, they've been knocking the cover off the ball. I'm getting a ton of Soto, Lindor, Alonso, obviously. And then for cheaper guys in the stack, I mean, they don't really have super cheap guys, but Batty at 3,700. I like him a lot. And yeah, I'm not getting many Miami bets here. It's just I think the Mets can overcome the hitting environment. I'm less optimistic about the Marlins overcoming.
Yeah, and I always mention this when Sandy pitches, but he's given up 30 stolen bases this year. 30 for 30, Dan. Base runners against Alcantara. Mets are going to run wild here if they get a chance. Lindor will run. Soto will run. I mean, just going through them. Yeah.
That makes it that is a really good point. I've actually got like Lindor, Soto, and Cedric Mullins all like 25% or better to steal a base today.
Yeah, I think there's a decent chance even Nimmo, McNeil, Beatty. I mean, anyone with any speed at all can run and will run on Alcantara. So definitely a boost to the Mets upside. Obviously not the greatest place to hit, but they've just been so good recently. They're going to be dialed in too, right? Some of these teams kind of sleepwalking through Sunday baseball this time of the year. Not the Mets. They will be ready to go in this one. Going to be aggressive on the base paths. They seem like an awesome upside stack to me. I'm getting in on the Mets with you for sure. Let's go to Detroit and Kansas City. Kauffman Stadium here. More mild weather. Some rain in the area. I think they should be fine, though. And, of course, we've got the soon-to-be two-time Cy Young winner, Tarek Skubal, going for the Tigers. He's been just nothing short of brilliant, all year long. Did give up 6 runs, but only 1 earned last time out. Another 12 strikeouts. On paper, not a good strikeout matchup for Skubal here, but he's just so good. It doesn't seem to matter too much who he faces. He has faced this Royals team, twice and pitched really well against them overall. So got to like Skubal here, even at 11-4. Not much interest in Walker for me. Just don't play him much. Not a high strikeout arm. Mostly just Skubal. What are you doing, Dan, with Tigers and Royals here?
Yeah, I'm getting basically no Waka. I'm getting like 3%. That could get cut down to 0. I'd be fine with it. Skubal, on the other hand, I'm getting in the 40s, which is a little dicey when you're paying 11-4 for a pitcher, but obviously the upside with Skubal is just sky high. So I think just looking at it in my mind, I'm like, I think I would rather play Brown, but I am getting way more Skubal. I'll probably just go with that. I am getting a good amount of Brown too, so it's not like I have to sacrifice too much of one for the other. And then as far as bats go, I'm really not getting anything from this game. I'm getting like 2% Gleyber Torres, some Jake Rogers, but other than that, it's I'm getting basically 0.
Yeah, these guys, the hitters in this game are all going to be super low owned, but even with that, kind of hard to get excited about them too much. Do like Pasquantino a little bit. The power lefties, I think Green is okay, but again, they're just better spots to go on this slate overall. So mostly just Skubal for both of us in the Royals and Tigers game. Let's go to Chicago for the White Sox and the Yankees. Luis Gil going for the Yankees. He's looked decent since coming back from injury. Pretty good matchup here, obviously, against the White Sox. I didn't end up on Gil, but I do think he's at least in the discussion. And then Martin Perez going for the White Sox, who is absolutely on my ass. 2 starts in a row, stacked against him with the Braves. And then with the Royals, got a straight-up shutout both times. And we're going to make it a trifecta, Dan, because I'm going back to the well. I can't give up going against Martin Perez. Give me some of this Yankees power, which is, of course, most of their lineup. But, yeah, especially that top 4, Goldschmidt, Judge, Bellinger, Giancarlo. Looks great, and I'll take another 0 stacking against Martin Perez today. What about you, Dan? You jumping on board the Yankees death train with me?
Yeah, I'm on the same page, man. Give me all the Yankees. Give me Judge, Goldschmidt, even Volpe, dude. I'll even play him. These White Sox pitchers cannot keep getting away with it. It's like every time I look over, there's some like 6-5K White Sox pitcher just annihilating the slate. But I'm going to stay on the same train with you and just say that this is not going to happen again.
Dan, I can live with getting blanked by Perez. I can't live with jumping off and the Yankees put up 10 runs and I don't have it. I have to have it.
No, you gotta have the courage of your convictions.
Yeah.
it's like it's okay when you go with your gut and it doesn't work out, but it's like when you play scared and go against your gut.
And then you get burned. Yeah, that's the worst.
It's the worst feeling in the world. So I'm right there with you. I'm not playing any Perez. I feel like a broken record, but this is another guy I'm getting like 10% of. I'm pretty condensed when it comes to the pitchers on this slate to the guys that we've already talked up quite a bit. But yeah, as far as bats go, all those Yankees guys, White Sox. I usually get more White Sox than this, but you can play Colson Montgomery, you can play Sosa, like a weak second base position, Teal. But yeah, it's mostly Yankees for me.
I'm with you. All Yankees for Dan and I with the Yankees and White Sox. Hopefully, Martin Perez can't do it again. Can't do it 3 times in a row.
He can't keep getting away with it.
We're getting paid back and then some for our Martin Perez stacks. So go Yankees. Yes. Angels and Astros, last game on the slate. And I think a really interesting one for pitching. Talked a lot about Soriano last time he pitched. I didn't understand why his price dropped to 5,700. Made no sense to me. He's been pitching pretty well, talented arm. And yeah, I just kind of had to be in at that price point. He was awesome against Texas, 25 DraftKings points in that one. Tougher matchup here for Soriano against the Astros, but certainly not an unwinnable one. And I just still think he's much better than a $6,600 pitcher. So I'm back in on Soriano here. Wish the matchup was a little bit better, but just the price is, for me, too good to pass up at 10% ownership. And then Hunter Brown. I think it's pretty close, Dan, between Brown and Skubal. Do you have a preference between those two? I mean, the matchup is way better for Hunter Brown than it is for Skubal. I kind of lean the Brown side, but it's hard to pick against Skubal, just how good he is in general. What'd you end up with Brown, Soriano, and any hitting in this game for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have Skubal projected better. I'm getting more of him in my runs, but Brown is cheaper. He does have a better matchup, and he's propped for one more strikeout. Like his strikeout props at 7.5. Skubal's is 6.5. I don't know. I'm questioning. I do kind of want to play a little bit more Hunter Brown here. I am already getting 30% of him, which is pretty decent. I don't know. I'll have to see how the builds shake out if I really want to kind of make a stand here on getting more Brown.
It's weird to say that Skubal lacks upside because he doesn't, but I do think the strikeout upside leans Hunter Brown here for these two pitchers.
Agreed. I mean, Skubal will probably go deeper into the game. I think I think at this point you're really just kind of like splitting hairs between these two guys. I am getting more Skubal. The more we talk about it, and like I'll probably just leave it because you're not even really getting an ownership discount for Brown. It really just comes down to like what can you fit in your lineup. But I'm still getting more Skubal, probably because I'm getting a lot of Pirates. I'm getting a lot of value bats like Pirates. Cleveland actually looks like a pretty good value too. So it really just depends what you want to do with your bats, man. I think both of these guys are pretty even, but I'm getting a lot of them. Soriano, I'm getting like 5%. He did great for you last week. I forget who I had going against him, but I was watching. I was like, my guy's doing better. And then it just fell apart. And Soriano crushed whoever it was on his town last week. I can't even remember.
Some scrub you liked.
Some scrub. Not as good as Soriano, clearly. As far as bats go, Yordan, Diaz, Pena for Houston is who I'm getting the most of. Christian Walker, of course, knocking the cover off the ball. And then for the Angels, I'm mostly getting Neto and not much else really from the Angels. So, yeah, it's more or less Hunter Brown for me in this game.
Yeah, in on Brown, in on Soriano. And, there's quite a few pitchers I like on the slate. Dan, that's all 9 games. Let's go back over some of our favorite stuff, and then we'll get out of here early because we do have lock coming up in half an hour. So need to get our lineups and cores and all that good stuff in. But let's go over our favorite plays at pitcher. We both like the high-end Skubal and Brown. Who else are you looking at on the lower end, Dan?
Sorry, I just had my stuff filtered. Let's see. I got, Skubal, Brown, and then Seymour. And then Senga. So
Senga.
fingers crossed we get the good Senga, who has not seemed to show up at all this year.
No, he's not going to show up for you today either. I'll take. Give me Bryce Miller. I don't even need the salary savings or the ownership discount. Give me Bryce Miller straight up over Senga. By the way,
All right.
There's your Soriano for today. It's not Soriano himself, but Bryce Miller going to get the job done in Cleveland. I do like Soriano some too, and then we talked about Ian Seymour. Looks like he's getting a lot of steam now. He's up to 27% projected for Ian Seymour. That's starting to get to a number that makes me a little uncomfortable, to be honest.
Yeah,
for a pitcher who's probably going to throw 75, 80 pitches. I mean,
yeah, it's a little dicey.
Jump on this Miller train, I think is what I'm going to do.
6,800 though. Still,
yeah.
Well, Bryce is 55. So
yeah, exactly. There you go. Stacks, Dan. Give me 3 stacks you're looking at today.
I got the Mets, I got Boston, and Seattle.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. 3 of my favorites as well. Mets. Give me both New York clubs. Mets and Yankees. They're expensive, but it's all right. We got Bryce Miller to come through, and then give me the Brewers, especially the lefties against Max Scherzer. I think makes some sense as a contrarian option.
Nice.
All right, that'll do it for this Sunday show. And next week, this time, we'll be 25 minutes away from the start of NFL Sunday. Cannot wait, Dan. We'll, of course, have shows up over for football and Run Pure Sports. All that stuff will be announced soon. And, we'll get going with football. Thanks for tuning in all year to this Sunday show. It's been fun. Appreciate the support. Baseball shows will continue tomorrow. Me and I believe JT should be on. Until then, he's Dan. I'm DC. We're out of here.